Hello everybody and welcome back to Knife Craze 2.0. Today we're going to be doing a video on the Smith's Diamond Dual Grit Sharpener. Now I've had this sharpening stone for a few years now, and it's not as coarse as it used to be, but it does have a coarse and a fine side. But like I said, I've had it for a few years, I use it a lot, and it's kind of getting worn out. So it's on its last legs. I'm going to buy a new sharpening system soon. But for today, we're going to be using this, and we're going to see how good it is. And also, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tutorial on how to sharpen with a diamond stone. At least this is the way I do it, and it seems to work for me. But if I'm doing it wrong, let me know. Leave a constructive comment on what I could be doing differently, how I could improve my technique. That's all. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be sharpening, as I said, and we're going to be using this knife right here, the Buck 876. I got this in a 2-knife combo set for like 25 bucks at Canadian Tire. It had this one, the fixed blade, and then it had a folding knife, but I gave the folding knife away. So right now the knife is fairly sharp. As you can see, it does shave hair, but what we're going to do to properly do this test in this video, I'm going to dull the knife. So how I'm going to do that, I'm just going to drag the edge along this table here. It's an old table, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to do this enough times to dull the edge significantly so we can actually see how good this diamond sharpening stone is. No, it's still sharp. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, so I tried dulling it, and it seems to have actually made it sharper somehow. I don't know how that happened. You know what? We're just going to roll with it. Because it's not sharp. It's sharp enough to pop some hairs, but we're going to sharpen it on this diamond stone. Now, the way I do this, sometimes I do it dry, sometimes I use water. I don't use oil, at least on this diamond stone. I have had stones in the past, like wet stones, oil stones, and particularly with the oil stones, for example, the Smith's tri-hone 6-inch sharpening system. It's 3 sharpening stones in a triangular pattern, and you got a coarse, a medium, and a fine, and that was an oil stone, so I used oil for that. But for this diamond stone here, which is also made by Smith's, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a spray bottle and I'm going to spray a little bit of water on there. And when you're using a diamond stone, if you're using water, you want to make sure that you dry it off after. Because one time I didn't dry it off and I got a little bit of rust on it, which I was really pissed off about. So yeah, make sure you dry your stones. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is so we got the stone, right? This is kind of awkward for me, but so what we're going to do, we're going to set the knife on our stone, and we're just going to look very carefully, and we're going to try and find our angle. And then once we find our angle, and it's okay if you're 1 degree or 2 degrees off, as long as you're like 98, 99% on the angle, this will work. But as you do it more and more, you'll get more and more better at maintaining your angle, and your knives will get better results. So what we're going to do, we're going to find our angle, and we're just going to go down the stone. Okay, so that was 15 passes on that side. We're just going to apply a little more water just to lubricate the stone. Now we're going to go in the other direction, 15 passes. And as you see, as I come down the stone and I get to the end, I maintain my angle, but I move the stone to get the tip. Now, something I am doing that you really shouldn't do, as I'm going up the stone, you're supposed to stop there, right? Because you don't want your tip rolling off the end of the stone, the sharpening system, because that can actually round off the tip of your knife. Okay, so that's about 15 passes, maybe 16. And another thing, when you're sharpening, you want to do an equal amount of passes on each side of the blade. Now, you can go one and then like the other side, but I tend to do 15 or 10 on one side, 15 or 10 on the other side, and I do it like that. I don't go back and forth. So now what we're going to do, we're going to move on to the fine grit, but to be completely honest with you, I've used this stone for a while now, a few years, and both sides feel like the same grit to me. I'm not sure, how long diamond stones last, but I have this one for a while, and I've used it a lot. So what we're going to do, we're just going to spray some water on here, and we're just going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to do, instead of 15 passes, I'm going to do 10. See, I just let it roll off the end again. You don't want to do that. When you're sharpening freehand, you want to maintain your angle, and you want to have complete control of the blade. You don't want to let it roll off the end. So I know I'm doing that a lot. If I wasn't doing this on video, I'd probably be doing a little bit better. Just bear with me here, alright? See, I did it again. Alright, so now we're going to dry the knife off. We're going to feel our edge. And when you're sharpening, what you want to do, you want to apex the edge. So you want to sharpen one side of the edge, and then you want to sharpen the other side of the edge until they come to an exact point. In fact, until they're a bit like this, okay? And I don't really feel a burr on this blade, right? Like, it is sharp, we have sharpened it, but if you really want to sharpen properly, you want to sharpen until you feel the burr on the blade. And how you know you got a burr, you just take your fingernail and you touch the edge like this, and if you feel something catch your fingernail, that's the burr. At which point you probably want to take it to a strop with some honing. I don't know what it's called. Like, it's like putty, kind of, and you put it on the strop. It's for honing, and then you strop the blade. And I am going to be buying a strop soon, so we will do a video on that in the future. But for right now, we seem to have pretty good results. So, let's see if it can shave. Well, we did get a few hairs off of the arm there, but it could be sharper. So what we're going to do now, See, you got all the black residue from the blade going on the stone. So we're just going to wipe that off. So what we're going to do, it could be sharper, so I'm going to go over on the fine side 5 more times on each side. Okay. Alright, that feels a little bit sharper now. Alright, let's see if we can find some arm hair here. I do this a lot, so. Yeah, that's taken off a little bit more hair now. Right there, as you can see. Alright, so the final test I do, the final step I do when sharpening a knife is, after I used a diamond stone, I like to hone the edge with a ceramic pull-through sharpener. I have 2 pull-through sharpeners. I have one that's carbide, which I don't really use because it just completely destroys edges. And I have one that's carbide and on the other side ceramic. So I tend to just use the ceramic side, just 3, 4, 5 passes through it just to hone the edge. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so right here we have a Smith's pull-through sharpener. Like I said, I don't really use the carbide side, which is right here, because it just completely destroys edges. But I do use the ceramic side just for honing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place the knife in here, and we're just going to pull through it a few times. There we go. Alright, so now we've completed, at least I've completed my way of sharpening. Let's see if it shaves hair. And it is popping hairs off, not much. Like I said, it's an old sharpening system. I need a new one. But these are okay results. If it can pop hairs off or shave hair off, it's sharp enough for me. It's going to be sharp enough to cut rope. It's going to be sharp enough to make feather sticks. It's going to be sharp enough to carve wood. You can get a knife far more sharper than this, but you really don't need to. So, anyway, that is my process of sharpening a knife. I'm going to be buying a new sharpening system in the future. We're going to review that. We're going to test our sharpening skills out on that. And I'll get back to you. So if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a nice comment, and have yourselves a good day.